And you know, because of your mentorship and brother Shane, my brother's working hard. Yeah, he's working hard. And so it's kind of so in public, you might be like, hey, do this, sir. Hey, do this, sir. And then behind closed doors.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are so excited that you're here. I'm Debbie Covington, the board chair for the African American Cultural and Historical Museum of Washtenaw County, Michigan. And we are happy to have you. And I'm going to turn the mic over to our President CEO, Joyce Hunter, and she's going to give you all a welcome and a little bit as a founding member, as well as President CEO. She's going to give you a little bit of history and talk about, and just welcome you. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Debbie. So as Debbie said, I'm Joyce Hunter, and I'm serving as President CEO. I'm also a founding member. So I'm going to share a few remarks with you. I feel like everybody see me and hear me? Okay. My remarks today will be based on two quotes. The first quote is, "An idea without action remains a dream." And that's author is unknown. This quote comes to mind when we think of the whole journey to establish them in Washtenaw County. A challenge was issued at Alpha Kappa Alpha Founders Day celebration to begin the journey. While we appreciate the idea from Dr. Margaret Burroughs, who is a co-founder of the DuSable Museum, we know that it was just an idea that needed to be acted on to move us forward. It was not Dr. Burroughs, but the founding members and later the boards of directors that have done the work. And they have done this work for over 30 years as all volunteers. Long time to be volunteering, right? And so we recently hired our first staff, and you'll hear more about that later. But up to this point, we're all volunteers. The second quote is, "Faith is taking the first step, even though you can't see the whole staircase," by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. After we accepted the challenge, we had to answer the question, how do we move forward with no building, money, or expertise in starting a museum? We did that by faith, which meant taking that first step. We had to get the necessary paperwork to the state, which included our constitutional bylaws, begin raising funds, and we had to look at other organizations to work with us. We have worked with many organizations in this community. We also had to find a meeting space. Our first meeting space was the Weatherstone Clubhouse, followed by a new center where we had an incubator space and then a small office. Following that, Letitia Bird offered us the use of the Bird Center, which is here. And later, the Mosaic Foundation rented a space to us on Pontiac Trail. Our funds have come from you, grants and community events. We have been fiscally responsible with your dollars. And it's because of that, we've been able to purchase this property as our permanent home without taking out a mortgage, debt-free. Thank you. Right. While we now own the property, we will continue to need your donations to assist with our day-to-day operations. At this time, I'd like to recognize our founding members. Some members are no longer with us. Some have moved, but there are some that are here. First of all, Letitia Bird, Bomadeli Demerson, Gloria Edwards, she's coming. Sure, Irvin, Cheryl. Okay, sure. Martha Graham, Joanne Hall, Joyce Hunter, Earl W. Jackson, Lola Jones, Joki Kamuyu, Patricia King, there's Pat over here, Vivian Light, and Vivian, I think, just left. She flew in from Florida just to come here today. So I think she just left. Dorothy A. Mack, Sean Martin, Shirley Martin, Francis Mormon, Beverly Myers, Zarel Palmer, Linnell Ransom, Beverly Tyler, Shirley Avon, and Cheryl L. White. So let's give them a hand. Thank you again, and please continue to support us. Speaking of support, I would like to thank Kip Lightfoot, Letitia Bird's son, for selling us this property to the museum at a really good price. So thanks to Kip a hand. I was hoping he was going to be here, but maybe he'll come later. So with that said, I'm going to turn this back over to Debbie Covington to continue with her remarks. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Joyce. So, good afternoon, everyone, again. And since 2020, I've had the honor of serving as board chair of this esteemed organization. In this role, I have witnessed the remarkable dedication and contributions of our board members and staff to the AACHM, and I'm deeply grateful for their unwavering commitment and the significant impact that they have made on this organization and on this community. I would like to acknowledge our board members by name. Cedric Bass, if you're here, raise your hand or stand up. Cedric Bass, Patricia Berry, Lisa Borgsdorf, our recording secretary, Nakisha Cheney, our board vice chair, my right-hand person. She's also an attorney, and she keeps us abreast and keeps an eye out for legal issues and concerns to make sure that we don't entangle ourselves unnecessarily and waste money. Amen. Oh, I forgot. Literally, amen. So Ellen Copeland Brown, corresponding secretary, Marlis Dean, Gloria Edwards as a founding member, William Epps IV, Joyce Hunter, president, CEO, and founding member, Akili Jackson, Patricia King, who's our treasurer, who keeps us on target with our money as we talk about the stewardship. Pat has been the treasurer, I don't know how many years, but she's one of the reasons that we have had such good stewardship. So thank you, Pat. And she has been totally involved in tracking our expenses for this project. Thank you, Pat. Deborah Meadows, who's the Underground Railroad docent, Akin Olawaraderi, Rossi Ray Taylor, who's the chair of the site committee. Rossi and I are joined at the hip, and we spent many nights and late nights talking about this project and strategizing. She's an incredible thought partner. I'm the one that's like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And she's like, okay, Debbie, let's take this one step at a time. But Rossi, hold on, Debbie. So she's good cop, I'm bad cop. Also a member of our development committee is Anthony Stewart. Betty Thompson, Kenyatta Tucker Ibarisha, and Kay Wade, Maitri White. Beverly Willis is our curator. She has curated all of our in-person exhibits from 1528 until now. And this year we were able to hire our first permanent staff in, yeah, that's a whoop whoop. A permanent staff as our museum administrator, and her name is Natasha Zake. She's walking in the door now. Anyway, we're thankful for our advisory members, board members. If you're here, raise your hand. I want to thank you, Deb, and I want to acknowledge another significant advisory, two more significant advisory committees, members. One is Shayna Barker, and the other person is Judith Cawhorn. They're on the Fund Development Committee, and since 2020, we have raised almost $250,000. Joyce is also a big fundraiser, and just went through a training on fundraising, and she brings that expertise that she learned to the board. So thank you. We are grateful, just grateful for our marquee donors. The Song Foundation, founded by Doug and Lynn Song, and the executive director, Kalia Burt Gaston, is here today, and you'll hear from her shortly. And the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation has been an ongoing supporter, and Donald Worcester and the Lola Jones family have been consistent donors for us, and we just want to recognize and thank them because they have held us down throughout this process. We had a special consultant, Crosby Bean, who shepherded the board through the process. He did all the due diligence on this property to make sure that we should purchase the property. He gave us the courage to take the next step. We laid out four options, I think it was 4 options for purchasing this building. One was getting a mortgage. Guess what? We didn't get the mortgage. The second was to purchase it for cash. Guess what? We purchased it for cash. And we were going to fundraise to do the renovation. So Crosby, he worked with us for 2 solid years, volunteer. And he is a civil engineer and an attorney who dedicated his time. So hopefully that's inspiring to other geniuses in this room. We also want to thank Lot 3 Mets, Crutcher Architecture. Are you here? There you go. Kenneth Crutcher. He became my new brother. You know how sisters and brothers fight, but they still love each other. So this morning, my brother and I had a warm embrace because we did this. And thank you. And he's more patient than I am. So he's real tolerant of his little bratty sister. But thank you for taking the beatings I gave my brother and staying focused on this project. And this is an amazing design. We are going, the deck like, thank you. So we'll have events out there in the summer. Okay, all right. Okay. So we also want to thank Hobie Rourke, who served as our volunteer project manager. Hobie is the National Director of Facilities for McKinley Properties. And he was brought to us by our board member, Will Epps. He volunteered hundreds of hours on this project. Volunteered. So we saved thousands and thousands of dollars all the way around. I want to acknowledge Darren Bates, Backhoe Companies. They did an amazing job on this building. He was not willing to cut corners. He put this hardwood floor in for free. Yes, every other hardwood floor in this building is original. This one was carpeted. He ripped it up and said, we're putting hardwood here. So thank you to him. Our journey has been nothing short miraculous. In August 2020, the board decided to find a permanent home for AACHM. After exploring several options, we chose to purchase the Byrd Center. And with the support of Kip Lightfoot, who is the son of a founding member, Letitia Byrd, his mother, Letitia, had a vision for this to be our permanent home. And because Kip honored his mother's wishes, he sold this building to us below market price. And that's why we were able to purchase it for cash. He could have gotten 3 times the amount that he sold this building for. And we are eternally grateful to Kip and the Byrd Foundation. So thanks to the board's careful stewardship, we closed on the Byrd Center on December 9th, 2022, less than 2 years ago, paying cash for the building. The Pittsfield Historical District the Pittsfield Historic Commission designated it as a historic district on January 11th, 2023. The renovations began immediately with Hobie Rourke as our project manager. By February 2023, we received a property tax exemption. Yes, we're a 501c3. We purchased the building on the 9th of we closed on the 9th of December. we had until the 16th of December to fill out all the paperwork to have it designated as a nonprofit site. If we had not done that, we would have had a whole year of property taxes to pay. So that was another miraculous thing that we did. So March of 2024, we were, honestly, to be totally transparent, we were like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to renovate this huge building? And we only have until July of 2024 to when our lease ends on our previous property. And we were kind of discouraged a little bit. And, you know, I was doing my best prep talk. We can do this. Let's vote on ourselves. Yes, we can do it. Let's have faith. Aren't we people of faith? Da, 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 da. And everybody was looking at me like, yeah, we are. I mean, really, it's a big deal to take on a project this large. This is a $400,000 renovation. And this is just phase one. So we were trying to figure out how we were going to do it. And then in my Facebook, I saw that the Sung Foundation was awarding grants to local nonprofits. Woo! And so our fund development team got together and we started writing this grant. Now, this was the easiest grant in the world. And they're intentional about that. And we are so glad because we wrote that grant up real quickly. And in March of 2024, the Song Foundation awarded us a $300,000 grant to complete phase one of the renovations, providing us with a much needed financial boost and moral boost. Woo, woo, woo. Literally, this building would not be renovated if it had not been for that grant. So the best news is we purchased and renovated this building and we are debt free. We are debt free. And we could not have done this without you because your donations and your support is what got us here. So thank you so much for that. But the story does not end here. After reading Lynn Song's press release about the grant, the Mellon Foundation, has anybody heard of the Mellon Foundation? You heard of Mellon? So the Mellon Foundation sent us an email, and I was like, wait a minute, is this a joke? I know the Mellon Foundation isn't writing us saying they want to help in this effort. But yes, the actual Mellon Foundation Humanities in Place program read the press release, and this is what Lynn wanted. And I'm not going to get into that. But this, imagine, out of all the things to read in the world, they read about this project. This is miraculous. And so they have, in September of this year, they invited us to submit a proposal. Now, if you know anything about the Mellon Foundation, you don't just walk up on them and say, hey, I want your money. They invite you to submit money, to apply. And they invited us to apply for $200,000 a year over 2 years to fund a full-time executive director position for capacity building purposes. Now, when the Mellon Foundation, I didn't know this, I learned a lot. When the Mellon Foundation invites you to write a grant, they kind of mean that they want you to have the money. And I kind of believe because they gave us a paid grant proposal writer to consult and to make sure that we are writing the grant to specifications so that we will get the grant. So if all goes well, in April of next year, we should have a full-time executive director to take this organization to the next level. Now, yes. And that's only for 2 years, so we're gonna need you to stick with us. And we need your talent, your time, and your treasures. And we have a great opportunity Every year around this time, we have holding space for African American history. We have an annual fundraiser. And this year, more than ever, we need champions. And what does it mean to be a champion? It means basically you're signing up to help us raise money for the next phase. We have another $150,000 that we're looking at to develop the grant to get into more programming. Cedric Bass is the IT specialist. We're going to turn this into a smart museum. A smart museum, so we're connecting all over the world. It's more important now than ever as they're trying to erase Black history. So we need you to be champions for us. We're trying to raise $50,000 between now and December 31st, January 1st. It runs concurrent with our Kwanzaa program. So we need you to, someone's going to be floating around with a iPad, and we're asking you to sign up, and we'll send you all the details. You'll set up a website, and I will help you. We have a video training. If you want us to set it up for you, we can talk to you on the phone and do that. But we want to set up a website, and then you'll have a link, and you just send that out to your friend, family. Say, hey, I'm trying to raise $500 for the African American Cultural and Historical Museum. And then here's the link to my website. Please donate. And I mean, some people said, I can't do this. And then 2 weeks, they had $800 from their network. So we're asking you to do that. And we'll send you more information about that. So without further ado, I'm going to call up my dear friend. You know, I'm a big friend first. Aaliyah Burke. She has been just a partner, a friend throughout this process, and we're so grateful for her leadership.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kalia Bergaston, and as Debbie said, I'm the executive director of the Song Foundation. The Song Foundation was founded in 2019 by Doug and Lynn Song, and the purpose of the foundation really is to invest in innovative ideas and people and organizations that really help to amplify power, prosperity, equity, and joy. And, you know, as you could see with Debbie and the rest of the staff and volunteers, it's a lot of joy right here today. And joy is infectious, right? It's contagious. And we also know that Black joy is revolutionary. And so we couldn't be happier to invest here and to partner with the museum. I think it's just a testament to, you know, long-standing passion, 30 years of volunteerism to get this off of the ground. It's really unheard of. You know, most nonprofits seek funding first before they do the work, and this was the exact opposite. I also have a personal connection, so I'm from Central Indiana, but I came here to Ann Arbor in 1994. So I got my undergraduate and graduate degree from the University of Michigan, and I'm an urban planner. And when I was in graduate school, I actually was hired to work on a research project documenting the history of Black people in Washtenaw County. And now, 30 years later, it feels good to see that history elevated and shared in this beautiful space. So thank you so much on behalf of Doug and Lynn. I also want to say this. So I lead the foundation, and we made a contribution here for the museum, but Doug and Lynn also personally matched that contribution and made a grant here as well from their personal resources. So if you see Lynn, let her know, you know, just how much that means to community. She'll appreciate that. But thank you, and I really love seeing everyone here today.
Thank you, Kalia. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Let's end the program. And what we're going to do is we're going to take half of you upstairs to tour the building upstairs, and then half of you will stay down here and tour the lower level. I just want to kind of orient you a little bit. The building was built in 1824, and that's the main building is what we're standing in right now. Behind this fireplace was a bathroom, which is now our dinette, our kitchenette. Over here, so that's the first part. upstairs there is a bedroom, and which is now our office. So go upstairs, you'll turn right, go all the way to the end of the hall, and you'll walk into what was at that time the bedroom, the one bedroom in this house, and which is now our office space. There's a bathroom down that hall that was renovated. It used to be really scary, and so now it's very beautiful. And if you go up the stairs and to the left, there were okay. So this is phase one. Phase two of the building is behind this wall, and they built 2 floors. So this first floor and then the floor above it. Here was the kitchen. When you walk in, the first gallery is the kitchen, and the second one was the dining room. We tore down that wall and made it one big space. The lobby area was part of phase 3, and they put the lobby area, and this building, this wing over here was David Byrd's office. It's still built in the 1800s, but David Byrd used it as his office. So that's pretty much what the building looks like. Enjoy your time exploring the building. We also have for sale mugs, AACHM on one side, holding space for African American history on the other side. They're $15. We encourage you to please take one, keep it before you to remember that you are holding space for African American history, and your commitment to this museum is an act of resistance to keep us from going backwards. So thank you all so much for coming, and I can't wait to be in touch with you and see you setting up your fundraising websites. Thank you so much.
Before it starts getting really cold.
Didn't I tell you what I believe? Somebody say that a love like that won't last. Didn't I give you all that I got to give, baby? motivated all night. You make me want you, it drives me crazy. I feel like you were made just for me, babe. Tell me if you feel the same way, 'cause it just feels so right. I don't wanna waste no time. If I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be you. 'Cause girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. When you're not here, you don't know how much I miss you. The whole time on my mind is how much I'm gonna get to make you feel so good, like you know I could me if you feel the same way, 'cause it just feels so right. Don't wanna waste no time. Girl, if I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be you. Girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? Yeah, babe. I wanna give my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. Your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love not just tonight, to you, girl. The rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Don't you know you're so beautiful, beautiful? Oh, baby, don't you know you're so beautiful? Oh, oh, baby, don't you know you're so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful? Oh, baby, don't you know you're so beautiful? Oh, oh,
set your body free. Leave your situations at the door. So when you step inside, jump on the floor. Let's get it crunk up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. It's only gonna be about a matter of time before you get loose and start to lose your mind. Cop you a drink, go ahead and rock your eyes, cause we're celebrating no more drama. And with a great track pumping, every bopping, go ahead and twist your back and get your bopping. I told you leave your situations out, so grab somebody and get your ass on. Let's get it on up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating. You got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. Don't need no haters. Y'all, we don't need no. Just trying to love one another. We just want y'all to have a good time. No more drama in your life. Work real hard to make a dime. If you got beat, your problem, not mine. We on that BS outside. We gonna celebrate all night. Let's have fun tonight, no fights. Turn that Dre track way up high, making you dance all night. And I got some real heat for you this time. Doesn't matter if you're white or black. Let's get drunk 'cause Mary's back. Let's get drunk up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. Let's get it crunk up on up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. Get it crunk up on up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're open, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. Let's get it crunk up on up in this dancery. We got open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me.
It's like, you know.
And we would not be here if it had not been for supporters like you who have consistently supported us. I'm going to change the program around a little bit because we have some public officials here, and one is Justin Hodge, who is the chair of the Washtenaw County. Is this on there?
No, I was on it. Yes, just cutting it off. No, it's. I can't hear you through the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's not that big of a space.
Yeah. Can you use it? Can you use it? Yes.
Is it on?
No.
I don't have any lights. I don't have any lights. We're recording too. We're recording too. That's okay. So Justin has another engagement. He has another engagement today, right now, and so I'm going to ask him to come and just give some words of encouragement. When we had the open house in 2023, Justin was able to be here, but he took time to videotape a message to us. And tonight, I called him last minute, and he was already planning to come. So I'm going to give you the floor, Justin.
All right. I don't think the mic is working, but I don't think I need it. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good. I'm Justin Hodge. I'm the County Commissioner for District 5. I represent the southeast corner of Washtenaw County. That's most of Ypsilanti Township and all of Augusta Township. Anybody live in Ypsilanti Township for us? Yeah, all right. Well, hopefully you voted for me. You're reelected, so really excited to be here. Strong supporter of the work that's being done. And I really want our county to be able to recognize space. We're talking about passing a resolution soon at Board of Commissioners to acknowledge the grand opening here and then work with our city and township government to find financial support so we can continue making this necessary. So great that you invited me. I'm really happy to be here in person. It's really big. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Chris, come on up if you can. And Chris is the incoming treasurer of the Pittsfield Township.
Mike should be on.
Of Pittsfield Township.
Thanks, everyone. Hey, I'm glad that reminded me about this today.
Almost forgotten. This where Pittsfield Township is happy to welcome the museum into the township. That we're glad you honored us by choosing space. I spoke to you a bit earlier. I heard about a lot of the work she did with the Pittsfield Township Historical Commission in getting this to happen, and I'm hoping that we can continue to support you and support our community, for many more years to come. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna have. I see people are still coming in. So as they're coming in, two of our board members are just gonna give us a little drumming, and. Drumming is a deep part of our history from Africa to today. We're calling people together with the drumming, and we haven't had an opportunity to bring this in all day. So this is a special session for you all because the brothers are going to drum us in. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, guys. 1, 2, 3, clap along.
Thank you. What a way to start the final session with a lot of energy. Woo. Okay, I'm going to pass the baton to our president CEO, Joyce Hunter, and we are going to just move to the program from there.
Thank you, Deb.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are there Felicia? Want to say hi? Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, any other elected officials in the room that I missed? Oh, I'm sorry. Linda.
That's okay, because I'm on my way out.
Oh, no. Are you
Currently a trustee for this township.
okay, Linda? Stand up. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I'm walking distance. I'm on the road. And Pittsville Township, Pittsville Township is an amazing and wonderful place to live. So having this in my backyard just makes it all that much better, right? Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Joyce, come on up.
So hello to everyone. As Debbie said, I am serving as the president and CEO of the museum, and I'm also a founding member. Remains a dream, author unknown. This quote comes to mind when we think about this whole journey to establish an African American museum in Washtenaw County. A challenge issued at the Alpha Kappa Alpha Founders Day celebration, and thus began the journey. While we appreciate the idea from Dr. Margaret Burroughs, who is a co-founder of the DuSable Museum in Chicago, we know that it was just an idea that needed to be acted on to move us forward. It was not Dr. Burroughs, but the founding members and later the boards of directors that have done the work. And they have done this work for over 30 years with all volunteers. A lot of time to volunteer, right? And so the second quote is, faith is taking the first step, even though you can't see the whole staircase, by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. After we accepted the challenge, we had to answer the question, how do we move forward with no building, money, or expertise in starting a museum? We did that by faith, which meant taking the first step. We had to get the necessary paperwork into the state, which included our constitution and bylaws. We began raising funds, and we had to look to other organizations to work with us. We have worked with many organizations in the community. We also defined a meeting space. Our first space was the Weatherstone Clubhouse, which is right across the street, followed by a new center, where we had an incubator space, and then a small office. Following that, Letitia Bird offered us the use of the Bird Center, which is right here. And later, the Mosaic Foundation rented a space to us on Pontiac Trail. Our funds have come from you, grants and community events. We have been fiscally responsible with your dollars. And because of that, we have been able to purchase this property as our permanent home without taking out a mortgage, debt-free. Thank you. And while we own the property, we will continue to need your donations to assist with our day-to-day operations. And I mentioned we started this with founding members, and what I'm going to do now is call the name of our founding members. Some are no longer with us, some have moved, and some are here. Letitia Bird, Bomadelli Demerson, Gloria Edwards, she's here. Very good. Shura Irvin, Martha Graham, Joanne Hall, Joyce Hunter, Earl W. Jackson, Lola Jones, Joki Kamuyu, Patricia King, Vivian Light, who was here. She flew in from Florida just to come to us today, and she's taken off to go back home. Dorothy A. Mack, Sean Martin, Shirley Martin, Francis Mormon, Beverly Myers, Zerelda Palmer, Linnell Ransom, Beverly Tyler, Shirley A. Vaughn, and Cheryl L. White. Let's give our founding members a hand. Thank you again, and please continue to support us. Speaking of support, I would like to thank Kip Lightfoot, Letitia's Bird's son, for selling this property to the museum at a very good price. So let's thank Kip. I was hoping Kip would be here to come up and say a few remarks, but he's not, but maybe next time we have an event. So thank you again for coming. I'm going to turn it back over to Debbie Covington.
Thank you. She said that because a lot of people know me as Debbie Mitchell in this community. And so Debbie Mitchell Covington works as long as you stick the Covington on there. Okay, and Covington is important because he allows me to do a lot of stuff that many people might be surprised by how little I'm at home and how little I sleep. And he still, do your thing, go ahead, I'm here. So anyway, good afternoon. Since 2020, I have had the honor of serving as the board chair of this esteemed organization. In this role, I have witnessed the remarkable dedication and contributions of our board members and staff to this, and they've had significant impact in this organization and in the community. I'd like to acknowledge the board members and staff at this time. If you're in the room, raise your hand or poke your head in because they're working still. Wait a second, when I say your name, I'm sorry, I didn't give good instructions. I'm so sorry. So normally I just say board members, but this is a big deal, you guys. And I want you to hear the names. I want to speak the names of the people that have worked tirelessly. And we have walked in faith, sometimes with wobbling knees, but these are the folks who did it. Cedric Bass, Patricia Berry, Lisa Borgsdorf, who serves as recording secretary, Natasha Cheney, she's the vice chair of the board. Stick your head in, Natasha. And I'm sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. So Nikisha has been on the board for several years. Then we hired Natasha. So I'm kind of I messed their names up a little bit from now on. But Nikisha is also an attorney, and she keeps us on track. She pays attention to all of our contracts. She makes us think in legal terms that we wouldn't be thinking about. She's like, wait a minute, do you want to do that? That might open us up to risk. It's like, no, Keisha, we don't want to do that. So thank you, Keisha, so much for serving as our board chair. Ellen Copeland Brown, who's our corresponding secretary, Marlis Dean, Gloria Edwards, who's a founding member, William Epps IV, Joyce Hunter, Akili Jackson, Patricia King, who's the treasurer. We have had great stewardship over our finances, and Patricia King is a key person to making that happen. She makes sure that we are in compliance fiscally, and she's been tracking funds on this project, and this is a big project. It was like a $400,000 project, and that's just phase one. So then we have Deborah Meadows, who is our Underground Railroad docent, Akeen Oluwaderi, Rossi Ray Taylor, who's the chair of the Site Development Committee, and Rossi has been a rock in this process. She and I have been joined at the hip in this process, and we play good, bad cop. She's the good cop, of course, because I'm the crazy one, right? I'm like, get this done now! The contractors probably were tired of hearing, that is not acceptable. That is not acceptable. And Rossi's like, no, wait a minute, let's think this through. I'm like, no, Rossi, let's do this. So thank you, Rossi. Okay, so then Anthony Stewart, Betty Thompson, Kenyatta Tucker Ibarisha, Kay Wade, Maitri White, Beverly Willis, who is our curator. She has curated every exhibit that we have had since October 19th, 2021. And she has been very instrumental in what you see today, but also in making sure that things were structured in a way that would be great for exhibits. She's also our graphic designer. And these are all volunteers, by the way. People don't get paid for this work. And anything that you see, 99% of any kind of graphic that comes out of this organization, Beverly does. And isn't this beautiful work? So, yes. And then this year we had a major milestone when we were able to hire our first permanent staff. We hired a museum administrator. Come on out, Natasha Zake. So we are really grateful for our advisory board members. Some of them may be in the room. If you're in the room, feel free to raise your hand. Thank you. And you can become an advisory board member, you just have to be a member and find an interest in working on one of our subcommittees. So I'd also like to thank our marquee donors, the Song Foundation, founded by Doug and Lynn Song, and the executive director, Kalia Burt Gaston, who is here, and you'll hear from her in just a few minutes, the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation, and the Donald Worster family, which includes the Lola Jones family, and Lola Jones is one of our founding members. We had a special consultant, Bean. He shepherded us through the process of doing our due diligence about whether we should purchase this building. This man is a civil engineer and an attorney, would expect. And so he donated hours, years, 2 years to us. We also want to thank our architects, Lot 3 Metz, Crutcher Architecture, who designed this building. Has anybody been in this building before it was renovated? So, okay, one word reaction. Wow, shocking and wow, right. Did you think you were in the same building? Right, exactly. I was going to call Terminex and say, you failed. I mean, you are so right. And we have stories about that during renovation, but we won't talk about it. So thank you so much. So we also want to thank our project manager, Hobie Rourke, who is the national director of McKinley Properties. He served as our project manager, working with the architects and working with the contractors. We did not sign off on any payments unless Hobie had combed through the invoices to make sure they were all legitimate charges. He gave us hundreds of hours of work. Hey, Carol, hundreds of hours, volunteer. He would not take a quarter from us, so we thank him. Then the Darren Bates of Dapco Companies, he's a contractor. He took a lot of care in making sure that this museum was beautiful. He put down the hardwood floors throughout this building are original, except the floor that you're standing on right now. And Darren would not let us put anything down here but hardwood floors. And he was so committed to that he paid for it. Wow. And there are a lot of other things that he threw in because he's so committed to this work. Municipal folks, the Pittsfield Township Historic District Commission was very supportive of this effort. The Planning Commission and Mandy Graywall, the supervisor, and we thank you, Linda, for being here today as well. Our essential partner, now this is really, really important. The Episcopal Church of the Incarnation and Pastor Dean Aponte Safe. So we could not get the site plan for this building because we didn't have the required 50 parking spaces. But guess what? The church created a parking lot easement so that between the church and this building, we have more than enough parking spaces. And that easement runs with this building as long as we own it. So that they are a critical partner. You guys, I'm gonna try not to cry because this is the fourth time I've done this today, and I'm kind of full right now, but I'm gonna tell you about this journey and how miraculous it is. Our journey has been nothing short of miraculous. In August 2020, the board decided to find a permanent home for the AACHM. After exploring many options, we chose to purchase the Byrd Center. With the support of Kip Lightfoot, as Joyce told you, Kip was Letitia Byrd's son. Letitia Byrd was one of the founding members, and they owned this building. She and her husband owned this building. And her desire was that we own this building as the museum's permanent home. After she passed, Kip was determined to make her wish come true. And he sold this building to us for well under market price. He could have got at least 3 times what he sold it to us for. And we were able to, because of good stewardship over the years, we were able to go into our coffers and pull out and put on the table a check for $140,000 cash. So the renovations began immediately. So we're kind of piecemealing it, raising money, and fixing stuff, fixing the roof here, the furnace there, getting rid of the mice. And so in February of 2023, we were able to receive property tax exemption. I'm gonna tell you another little miracle behind this story. We closed on this deal December 9th, 2022. We had to turn in paperwork by December 16th to get tax exemption as a nonprofit organization. There was quite a bit of paperwork to fill out in several days. If we had not met that deadline, we would have had to pay a full year of property taxes. But there's a lady over in Pittsfield Township named Karen Johnson who worked so closely with me, and we were able to get that in and save thousands of dollars. Is this miraculous or what? So in May of 2023, we launched the soft capital campaign to fund the renovations. And although we didn't have the full $500K that we needed to do the work, we moved forward in faith, trusting in ourselves and trusting in our supporters. In August of 2023, just last year, we hired our architects through a competitive bid process, and with the assistance of Lori Sipes, who is a retired retired historical building architect. I met this gentleman at another event that we did, and he's like, "Oh, I need to connect you with Lori." Miracles. Lori came in here and said, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And guess what? She worked with us, set up the bid process, set up the contracts, and guess how much she charged us? 0 cents. 0 cents. So we have good momentum. We're hired our architects. We're still scraping along. And when you're doing a project this big for a small working board, it gets scary. We were all scared and nervous. But we were committed we're moving forward. And in March 2024, we in my Facebook page, any of you could have seen it, the Song Foundation had an announcement about grants. So we, Judith Cawhorn and Shayna Barker, our Fund Development Committee, we applied for the grant. And then Kalia, who had been in this community for a long time, reached out to me and said, "Debbie, do you know about the Song Foundation?" And she had seen the work that we were doing with the museum. And I was like, "Yeah." I said, we submitted a grant. And she said, "How much was it?" I said, $100,000. She said, No. That's not enough. Up it. Well, in March, when our spirits were like, we don't know if we can do this, the Song Foundation granted us $300,000. $300,000. That was a boost in morale. It was a boost in income. And if it wasn't for them, we would not be here today. So with the additional support from the Ann Arbor Area Foundation and Donna Worster, we now have a beautifully renovated building. The best news is we purchased and renovated this building, and we are debt free. We couldn't. Amen. We don't have any more leases. We don't have any more. So anyway, this could not have been done without our major donors and without you all, because every time we called this summer, we just said we need to raise some more money, and because this was a $400,000 project, and we said let's do 30K in 30 days. Bam! We didn't make 30K, but we raised $23,000 in less than 30 days. That's what you all did. That's what our supporters did. And that's miraculous. Okay, so sounds good, right? Everything sounded good, right? You all bought in, right? It gets better. Okay, the story doesn't end here. So when Lynn Song, after the Song Foundation gave us the 300K, Lynn Song wrote a press release. Now, yeah, okay, let me not get ahead of myself. So I got an email one day out of the blue from a person who said, oh yes, I'm with the Mellon Foundation, and we heard I said, wait a minute. Has anybody heard of the Mellon Foundation? And I'm like, is this real? So I Googled the person's name. Because they're scams, right? I Googled the person. I was like, oh, this is real. Anyway, after several months of conversations, she said, we read about what's happening with your organization through the Song Foundation press release, and we want to help. And so in September of this year, they invited us to submit a proposal for $200,000 that would be spread over 2 years to fund a full-time executive director and fund development consultant. Now, I don't know if you know about the Mellon Foundation and how they work. I didn't know. I learned a lot. They don't invite you to write a proposal unless they plan on funding it. You think that's what I was like, But Justin, they said, yeah, we want this. Oh, we want you to submit the proposal, and we're giving you a grant proposal writing consultant who will guarantee that you write the proposal to specifications to get funding from the Mellon Foundation. Now that's something to crow about. Wow. I didn't know that, y'all. Okay. So that's the big news. And if we are able to get the funding in next year of April, we will have a full-time executive director to work this organization and take us to the next level. Now that we did all of this over 31 years with volunteers and the goodwill of our community. Imagine what's going to happen when we have someone who can dedicate at least 40 hours a week, focusing on this museum and taking us to the next level of professionalism. Is that amazing? So, it is. So listen up. We need your help. We have done this renovation. We still have part 2. That barn out there that you see, we want to transform that into an art center, a programming center, a place where people can meet. I can just see young people in there doing all kinds of things throughout this building. We have a number of national artists that have approached us that want to work with us. We need your help. We are launching our annual Holding Space for African American History campaign. The goal is to raise $50,000 between now and January 1st. The way it works is we invite you all today to become fundraising champions. You set up a website. We can help you do it. It's really simple. We have videotapes. We have a manual on how to do it. And if you want to, call us and we'll set it up. You just tell us what you want in there. But you then you set a fundraising goal, and then you invite your friends to come and donate. You could start with $50 and end up with your team. Everybody who donates is on your team. Your team could raise $2,000 or $3,000, and only $50 came out of your pocket. But that energy just multiplies. So we invite you to do that. People will be walking around with iPads so that you can sign up. Because you attended, I will also send you an email with information on how to get involved. Are you all willing to stick with us, continue? Thank you so much. We so appreciate you. Kalia, come on up. I'm sorry, I took a lot of time, but this was a story I could not help tell. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Nagash. My name is Kalia Burke-Gaston. I'm the executive director of the Song Foundation, founded by Doug and Lynn Song in 2019. And the purpose of the Song Foundation is to invest in ideas and organizations that are really amplifying power, prosperity, equity, and joy in southeastern Michigan. So that includes Washtenaw County, but we also give in Flint, in Detroit, and in Dearborn. Really excited to be here today because when we think about our purpose and our work, this grant really exemplifies the type of work that we want to support. 30 years, right, 31 years of volunteer efforts in the community to, document the history, share the history, uphold the history, and to make it real. So it was an honor when I saw that, the museum was working on this project for us to support it. The other thing that we really strive to do is to use our influence to really help organizations raise more money. So we are so excited that the Mellon Foundation will be joining us. And a little known fact, so the consultant who is at the Mellon Foundation is a former student that I was in grad school with 15 years ago here in Ann Arbor. And so we were in the urban planning program for just one semester together. She came, decided to go back to New York. We have not seen each other in 15 years, but she saw that press release, and I still, to this day, we've never talked about it. Debbie told me, Newport, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, Newport is helping us get this grant for $200,000. So again, definitely meant to be. So we're just really excited. I also want to just highlight the fact that for this investment, the foundation contributed, but also Doug and Lynn personally matched that grant to make sure that we could get through phase one. So happy to be here and happy to see so many people that I've seen. Hello, during my time here. So I've spent 30 years in Michigan, 15 here in Washtenaw County as a student, and then the last 15 in Detroit. So, yeah, thank you.
And the lovely thing when we had the opportunity to talk with Lynn, Lynn said, we're in this with you. We are in this with you. And to have that level of support and care, and she's a social work, U of M alumni in the house, the two of us, and there are probably some more, but anyway, to have that level of support is amazing. Did anyone have any questions? Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna give you a little quick. What we're going to do in a minute is we're gonna have half the room go upstairs and half the room go up downstairs, tour downstairs. I'll give you just a little bit of history about how this house was built. You are right now sitting in the main part of this house. This was the first part of the house to be built. Behind us was a bathroom, which is now our kitchenette, which is so lovely to have. And upstairs, when you go up these stairs, turn right, go all the way to the end of the hall, you will see a large room, which was their bedroom. And so it will now be used as our office space and prepping for exhibits. If you go up the stairs, there's also a bathroom up there that was really, really scary. Did you ever go? Oh, wait till you see it now. You can use it without worrying about what's crawling, right? No, this is real. This is real stuff. And so then if you go up the stairs and to the left, so I talked about the main part of the house first. The second part that was built is behind this wall, and it was a 2-story structure. So down here on the first floor, when you first come in, there's you see a chimney. That was the kitchen, and there was a wood burning stove connected to that. On the other side of that, this area here was the dining room. You see a door right here. That door was for, back in the day, they would have a door, they'd have, instead of wakes at the funeral home, they would have wakes in the home. And this was a door that they brought the casket through. You go upstairs to the left, you'll see there used to be 2 bedrooms. We tore that wall down, and now it's a large room for exhibit space, special programming, and so forth. Down here, the third phase was they put these 2 wings on. So the wing over there, which is now the lobby, and has 2 beautiful bathrooms there, and a lobby area. So that was part of phase 3. And then the second wing here, David Byrd used it as his office and library. So that's pretty much the overview of the whole building. So feel free to just tour the building and imagine maybe your organization. This is large enough space for a small gathering, maybe a dinner. Just think about what the space could look like and could be for this community. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you coming. We appreciate you coming. Oh, they figure that out. They usually figure. I thought about how to do that, but then people just, half of them will go upstairs and half of them would stay downstairs, and it just worked out all day. So that's what we'll do. If you see folks going upstairs, you want to go upstairs, and it looks like a lot of folks up there, start touring down here. We don't have a full exhibit out. This is just kind of just telling the story, because we wanted to save as much space as possible for this gathering. So in January, we're going to have a full exhibit opening. In the meantime, we're going to be resting and settling in to this space. So thank you all so much. Take care.
Oh yeah, and just to make sure we don't forget our special Debbie, Dr. Covington. Want to make sure I get the Covington in there, right? All right. Okay. She has worked tirelessly hard to really be a powerful force in mobilizing all of us to really make this thing happen. So please give her a warm round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenyatta. Okay, you all, if you make sure you come to Kwanzaa, because it's not going to be virtual. It's going to be right here, live. 7 days in the house. All right, you guys have a great time.